There are just 56 days to go until the presidential election, and while you might think you know everything about the candidates, we've got someone here who knows one of them better than just about anyone. Meghan McCain is one of Senator John McCain's 7 children, and she has now written a book for kids called My Dad, John McCain. Good morning to you, Meghan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I was saying to you in the break, I love the cover of this book because it shows both sides of John McCain, the patriot, the military man, and then John McCain, your dad. This picture is based on a real photo, right?
It's a real picture of me when I was a child, and Barry Goldwater is actually in the original in the corner, and I've just
we
always
erased him
loved
for
it.
that.
Yeah, they took him out for the cover, but I just always loved it because it's me and my dad, and you know, it was at a political setting, and he's holding me, and I just love it. So.
Well, you mentioned in the press release that your first convention, you were in your mom's tummy at that point.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan in 1984. She was pregnant with me, and I tried to find a picture, but it's on our wall at home, and I didn't have time to scan it, put it on the blog. But yeah, she's pregnant with me. So.
Why did you want to write this book about your dad?
Well, I thought that there's a lot of younger generations that don't necessarily know my father's, the whole story. As you said, you weren't aware of his experience on the aircraft carrier. And I think that it's, no matter what political background you are, it's an American story. You know, it's about heroism, serving your country, American pride, and I just thought it would be cool to try and put it in a way that children could understand it.
You also don't sugarcoat your dad's story. You talk about the fact that when he was in high school, not the best student.
No.
Didn't like rules, following rules. Same thing when he went to the Naval Academy. Why did you include that?
Because it's one of my favorite things about my dad is that he wasn't running for president since high school. You know, he was not a good student, you know, notoriously rebellious, drove fast cars, dated a stripper. Like, I think it's hilarious.
Dated a stripper?
Yeah, it's like a famous story.
Oh, I missed that one too. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I've heard it. They talked about it during the convention.
So in other words, you just wanted to show that this is a guy. This is a person
it's a real
with
person.
Warts and all.
Real military man, everything like that. So.
And the message to children?
Just American pride, serving your country, a cause greater than yourself. You know, I think it's all very beautiful and patriotic, and my father says that he learned to love his country when he was taken away from it in prison, and I think that essence always has inspired me. So,
you know, when you were not writing books or a book, you are blogging. You're also on the campaign trail with your dad and your mom. They've been doing that now for about a year. What made you decide, Meghan, to come out from the shadows and to be in the spotlight for your dad?
You know, I think when I graduated college, I was really inspired by my little brother deploying to Iraq, and he deployed last July, and I was just really inspired by actually having a family member overseas, and I just really wanted to get involved. And last summer, I'm sure as you remember, it was McCain's over, his campaign's dead, it's over, get over it, and I knew that it wasn't over because I've seen how my father can change a town hall. Like, I've seen how people can come in not agreeing with him on any level and leave being a supporter.
But the campaign trail is also very tough. How do you deal with that?
I have great friends around me. I have 2 of my best friends work on my blog with me. The campaign for me, it's not just a job. These people are my family. I've grown so close to everyone on the campaign, and it's like a traveling family. It's like, you know, I love everyone. I'm good friends with everyone from the volunteers, the head of the campaign. So
because you have to stick together as well. I would
Definitely,
assume. It's tough.
And we protect each other, you know.
And talking about family, when your dad picked Governor Palin, there was a lot of conversation about her family and privacy issues. 8 years ago, you're 14, I think it was at the time.
It's 14, 15, yeah.
And you had an experience with the media that you say on your blog changed the way probably you live your life, or certainly changed your life. Can you talk to us about that?
You know, when I was 14 or 15, a reporter asked my father if I had been pregnant at 14, would he allow me to, how would he feel about me having an abortion? And my father said it would be my own decision, and obviously that created controversy. And for me, I just can remember being 14 and seeing Meghan McCain abortion on the crawl on CNN and those words together, and I still think it's inappropriate. And for me, obviously with everything that has gone on with, you know, Bristol Palin, I just think privacy is privacy when it comes to the family. And in this setting, I have chosen to put myself out there. I write a blog, I'm actively campaigning, so I'm fair game. But a child, a 14, 15, 17-year-old person that is not actively campaigning, I don't feel is fair game. And I know from experience.
Yeah, you know? and you have pictures on your blog of you and the Palin kids. Have they asked you for any advice now that they are, you know, out there?
Yeah, you know, I feel very protective of them. I feel like, like a godmother, very protective, and anything they need. I've talked to them, obviously, in detail before, but anything they need in the future, they can call me, and they know that. And I just really want this to be a positive experience for them, and I know how things can be, but they're really sweet girls, really sweet, from a small town, really nice, and I just feel very protective.
I said to you before, my two favorite moments from the convention were when Piper did this and wiped down Trig's hair. And my other favorite moment was when the camera caught you listening to your dad in the audience, and your eyes were filled with tears.
No.
What? I know you were embarrassed by it, but it was very moving for other people to witness. What brought those tears? What provoked that?
Just seeing him come on stage. I was just thinking about last summer when everyone was saying, it's over. He said, I'd rather lose an election than lose a war. And I can remember this guy saying, well, it looks like you're not going to have either. And just seeing the transformation from then to now. And I've always had so much faith in my father, and seeing him run at 14 and getting to this level, I just was overwhelmed. And I'm so not a crier. And I was just, crying. And then it's so funny because everyone sat down. It was quiet except for me, like sniffling. So I was like, oh. But
so when you hear Barack Obama say something like your dad doesn't get it,
obviously I disagree, but I'm biased. I'm his daughter, we share DNA, but obviously I think my father gets it more than anyone. I mean, my family, I have two brothers serving in the military, one that's about to redeploy to Iraq. My father's obviously a famous war hero. No one knows what war is like other than my family, period. And it's just different when you have someone in the military. And I'm sure, as you know, Governor Palin's son, Track, is redeploying on September 11th.
September 11th, yeah. Have you got the political bug? You think you'll run?
Never.
Never?
Never. And that's a promise to the American public. Never.
I would shake your hand, but I just licked mine. So,
okay.
Megan, thank you. Pleasure to meet you. Good luck with the book.
Thank you.
And if you have any question for Meghan McCain, you can send them to us by going to todayshow.com. She's going to be answering them online in just a few minutes.